Welcome to a special episode of the Soulful Connections podcast, and get ready to meet 6 community leaders who are putting on their dancing shoes, learning how to ballroom dance, and raising funds for a vital community resource, the Silverman Free Health Community Clinic. Now, if at the end of this podcast you feel compelled to donate, I will make sure to include a link in the show notes. In the meantime, get ready to meet some really great people and hear about their feelings about this clinic and also their feelings about what they're doing, how they're handling the whole learning curve of ballroom dancing. You're going to meet Keely Rosenthal of the County of Bucks, Jill Romanelli, who lives here in Bucks County, David Galliani Ophthalmology, Kelly Schaefer, coach and entrepreneur, Kay Bernard Tynes of Penn Community Bank, and Bruce White of JKJ. So I am here with Keely Rosenthal, who is one of the community leaders participating in Dancing for Bucks for the Silverman Community Health Clinic. And Keely, I know you're a dancer, maybe a dancer by night, but by day, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I am a social worker. What I do is I'm the director of emergency and court services for Bucks County. I'm sort of living out my dream job because I started my career as a crisis worker. So that's working in mental health crisis out of Doylestown Hospital. At the same time as I actually worked for the Silverman Community Health Clinic for 4 years. I was their social worker. And I got involved with that because in high school, I heard about this free clinic that they needed translators for. And I started my career in Spanish, speaking Spanish and learning Spanish in 8th grade.
Wow.
And I had the best teacher ever. And we really kind of hit it off. And I could be taught a word in Spanish and I felt like it just like clicked in my brain.
Wow.
So language was really interesting to me, while every other subject was really difficult for me except for social studies. It was like the one class that I could be guaranteed an A in. And I was in reading support for most of my elementary and some of middle school education. And then in high school, I was in advanced placement Spanish. You know, this is all coming from a person who my parents were told, Keely will never get a degree. She probably won't be able to go through college. And now I have a master's degree and I'm a director for mental health, services and crisis services for the county. So don't let anything hold you back.
Wow.
But anyway, long story short, I did hear about this clinic and I wanted to volunteer for the clinic ever since high school, and kind of had it set in my mind to maybe be the director of their clinic one day. But anyway, I went to school for social work and I ended up, working for the clinic and now volunteering for the last 8 years for the clinic. And it's been great. It's been a place where I could use the Spanish speaking skills, although it's like elementary school Spanish probably at this point.
No,
But,
I think that's incredible.
Yeah. So by day I work and I oversee the mental health services for the county throughout the entire county. And I'm trained as a mental health negotiator. It's kind of the more fun part of my job. So we get to work with police and that social work connection so that we can get called out on really high stress, high crisis situations. I also do suicide loss prevention efforts. And so I get to dabble in a couple really interesting things for the county. But I also, like I said, get to volunteer by night for the clinic.
I had no idea. I'm so impressed. And as someone who speaks rudimentary toddler Spanish, like if you were talking to a 2 or 3-year-old, that is my skill level in Spanish. So I'm so impressed. So hooray for you. I think that is so awesome. So what made you say yes to being a dancer?
I think maybe I like things that make me uncomfortable. That's why I love
Yeah.
crisis.
Yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. There is so much ways to be creative with the craft that I do. And I have such a passion for loving people, bringing communities together, and making things better that if I can be creative with the approaches that I'm able to work with, then I really thrive in that situation. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
so interesting
I'm
because
lucky.
people sometimes run the other way from
Yes.
discomfort, you know?
Yes. Yeah. So I think that I was like, oh, dancing? I I kind of stunk at dancing when I took my jazz and tap class when I was in elementary school, but let's try this on for size. So,
So how has it been?
well, now in the last couple of weeks, I don't have an audience yet, and I'm shaky. I'm shaking in my boots, so I'm a little nervous, but it's been good because I'm getting to do something that I don't normally do. And I think that it's like reaching inside myself for, pulling out maybe some other parts of myself that needed to be exposed. Whether it's just trying on new moves or new shoes or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
different way of, moving your body or the memorization that goes into dancing. That's a part of my brain that maybe I don't use too much.
Yes.
You get comfortable in certain roles and then always, I think it's so important that we always have a perspective. And I kind of teach this in some of my suicide prevention classes. And so it's living out what I teach. Make yourself uncomfortable, right? And so whether we're talking about suicide prevention and saying, hey, make yourself uncomfortable, that if you see signs of a loved one that they're depressed or that they have no hope left, asking them if they're suicidal, if they're thinking about ending their life. And that's such a hard thing to do because we don't normally use these words. And then here I am, sort of eating my own words, like make yourself uncomfortable. I'm not a dancer. I've never moved my body in a dancing kind of way in front of large groups of people. So I've had to also practice mindfulness. What do I do to help relax myself in times of stress and times of anxiety? And I think it's a good reminder that some of the people we work with also have lots of stress and anxiety. And you can say it all day long about mindfulness, but until you put yourself in that uncomfortable position and have to practice it for yourself, then it's a great reminder of how our patients could feel, our clients could feel, or even our loved ones at home.
I am here with Bruce White, a dancer. He's one of the dancers in Dancing for Bucks. So, Bruce, congratulations on being a dancer.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, how does this relate with your profession? Is there any correlation between dancing and what you do professionally?
Yeah. Well, some would say, in business, you're kind of, dancing or hopping around trying to make things happen. So, activity certainly, and then a focus on the task at hand. Having fun. I've never stopped having fun in business. At JKJ, we have fun in everything we do. So, I think that's all part of it. And then, for me, the bigger message and the bigger thing that I wanted to do was to make a greater awareness of the Ann Silverman Clinic. And if I can dance for the first time in my life, other than, fun at a wedding or such, I will do it. I'm having a great time doing it.
What did you know before this event about the Ann Silverman Clinic? What was your relationship to it?
It's a really good question because I didn't know about this gala. I get invited through Paul Edgerton, who's on the board, for the goth outing, and we've supported that. I didn't know there was more to it, and it's great timing. My wife and I just moved into Doylestown Borough, so it's a little bit greater awareness and being able to share that. And this gala, I saw last night, I think 287 people are coming. So that's like, wow. That's wow. I mean, it's got to be capacity, I think, at the Warrington. But yeah, it'll be fun. I've had so many people say, "I'll see you there. I can't wait to see you dance," and that kind of thing. So yeah, the 6 of us will have a great time and enjoy ourselves that night.
Now, Bruce, what made you say yes?
Yeah. Paul Edge had a little twist, but I love to give back. And if there's anything I can do to give back to the community, our organization can do to give back, JKJ, back to the community, we're fully engaged in that type of thing. And I love the mission of Ann Silverman Health Clinic. I love what they stand for, what they're doing, giving back in our community. And it's an easy one. I probably paused for a moment and then said, "Sure, Edge, I'll do it." Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. So how has it been? How has this experience, Fred Astaire of Doylestown has been teaching the dancers. How has the process been? How does it feel? How are you handling it all?
Yeah, they're amazing people. They're very welcoming. We have fun together. They know, it's not natural to my movement, but so what? And my wife and I, our youngest daughter is getting married at the end of this year. We've already said we're going to start taking lessons there and getting more, just picking up, maybe a few skill sets. But the experience has been wonderful. They're very accommodating to I travel a lot on business, away a lot. Business things come up. Very easy to change schedule. Yulia is amazing. That's my partner. And Igor, who's kind of leads the facility there, is just awesome. And everyone else that's part of it. I know there's some other professional dancers. They're always welcoming and got to know people, which is really great. Get to know people in our community.
So I didn't ask you, what dance are you dancing?
The swing. I think it's called the Western swing. It'll be fun and funny. At least I'll be a comedic routine for the evening anyway.
I love it. So what would you say to anyone out there in the world looking to kind of expand their comfort zone?
Oh, yeah, dip your toe in. It's a good thing, right? No matter what your age, sometimes you just have to take a chance, and it's okay. Laugh at yourself. Others will laugh, but so what? They're laughing with you. And many people I've heard say, "Oh, I could never do that," and I might have said that too, but I thought, well, why not do it? So yeah, just give it a shot. Whether it's dancing or anything else in life, sometimes you just have to put yourself out there and enjoy the moment.
So I am here with Jill Romanelli, one of the dancers for Dancing for Bucks. My hat is off to you. I danced last year, Jill, and I know that right about now you're getting close. And if you're anything like me, you're starting to feel like a little bit nervous.
A little bit anxious, definitely a little bit anxious, but excited. I just wanted to be here.
Yes.
I think I just needed to be here so we could do it.
100%.
Yeah.
So can I ask what compelled you to say yes?
Well, I don't know, really. I have a girlfriend, Debbie, who was very involved last year. And I saw her in the parking lot at McCaffrey Supermarket, and she screamed, "Jill, I was just talking about you. Oh my God, I need you to dance for a fundraiser. Would you do it?" And I said, "Sure," across the parking lot. And that was it. Yeah. So I didn't know anything about what it was, but I know that she has a great heart and she's a great person. And if she was saying, "Do it," I figured I'd get involved. Yeah. So I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what I was getting involved in.
Have you ever?
But I always loved to dance. I've never really danced, but my daughter danced and my niece danced, and I love going to shows and I love music, and so I figured, why not? I exercise a lot, so. Yeah.
How do you feel about what dance you have? Do you mind sharing what dance you have?
Well, we have the cha-cha.
Okay.
And it is very fast. Okay. The dance is very fast, and it's a great little dance, but it's fast and it's difficult. It's way harder than I thought it would be. Definitely way harder because Misha wants me to do it correctly.
Yes.
So all the moves and everything everything has to be done correctly, which it's the challenge in 10 lessons.
Oh, it really is.
Definitely a challenge.
You know, what I found is I underestimated how much I would want to do well. Like I thought, oh, I'll be
right.
fine. But then all of a sudden, when you start
Oh,
doing
right.
it,
I care. Right.
right?
Yep. And that's what I keep saying to him. Like, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that move. Let's change the move. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as somebody who did it, I can tell you, just keep smiling. Just keep smiling.
My God.
I know.
It's going to be funny.
So how has it been? Like, how has the experience of the
experience has been great. I have to say that Misha's a great dancer. I love watching him dance with his wife. He's a great competitor. He came from Russia. He has a great story. I like helping him with my story and the American dream. He can have it all. So he became a friend. And I also feel like he really, really cares that I do well. So that's nice. He's a great kid.
That's so nice. I do think they're a really nice bunch over there.
They
Fred
are.
Astaire dancers in Doylestown. Give them a plug because my gosh, they do so much to
yeah. And it's so kind of them.
Yeah.
Everybody there is so nice.
I agree.
Yeah.
So did you know about the Ann Silverman Clinic before you began?
No, I knew nothing about it. Yeah. So, and then it happened to, like when I was telling people, I Googled it. My friend Cheryl McDonald, who I know very well, happens to be the president of the board. And then Vaughn Hepron, I used to work out with, and he's involved. So I know a lot of people. Lisa Kaplan, I knew from Trenton Country Club. So I knew a lot of people involved, which made me it's exciting. So definitely going to continue to be involved.
Yeah, and it's nice to have that connection, with those people too. So how do you, is there anything that you can say about the mission of the clinic or how you feel about what you've learned about the Ann Silverman Clinic?
Well, I think that the mission is wonderful. That all the doctors and very busy people giving up their time for people who are in need. To me, that's the best gift you can do for anybody. The gift of giving your time and doing for others, to me, is everything.
Yeah.
So especially helping people in need. Very important to me.
I love that. Well,
giving back is very important to me.
And you are going to, what would you say to somebody who is considering doing something, like you, it's out of the comfort zone?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I think that pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, especially I'm older, is a great thing. I love the challenge. Like I love doing something that I've never thought I would ever do. Especially my kids are like, oh my God, we're so nervous for you. My son was saying to me today, and I was like, don't be nervous for me. Like, it's all good. Even if I did fall, it's all good. It's all in fun. I'm doing the best I can. And to give up my time to do something for other people, that's what it's all about. Right? No, but I don't judge. I don't think anybody's going to be judging me. It's all about fun. We just want to go have fun and enjoy it and raise money for good causes. So
I couldn't have said it better. So I'm here with Bernard Tynes, Executive Vice President, Chief Consumer Banking Officer at Penn Community Bank. And now he can add to his resume, ballroom dancer.
Good morning, Amanda.
Bernard, thanks not only for being on the podcast, but for what you're doing by stepping onto the ballroom to benefit the Ann Silverman Community Clinic. What made you say yes?
Well, I will say I hesitated, right? But the health clinic does such amazing work. And I was really inspired by I think this is the 3rd annual event. And seeing dancers go before me, including you, Amanda, was really inspirational. Our company, the company that I work for, Penn Community Bank, has had a long-standing relationship with the organization. And my boss, President and CEO Gene Madoni, was one of the inaugural dancers. And so we're kind of passing the torch year after year. So I was really honored to represent our organization that aligns with the mission of Ann Silverman, and hit the ballroom, right? Everyone's saying I'm stepping off of or out of the boardroom onto the ballroom, and I'm really excited about it.
I love that. I love that. So I want to hear what dance you're dancing, and I want to hear how the experience has been and is for you.
I want to keep the dance I'm dancing a secret until
Okay.
the actual event, right? I'm full
I
of
love
drama.
it.
Right? I'm a corporate marketer and an executive banker, so I'm full of drama. But I will say it's one of my favorite songs of all time by one of my favorite artists. I will say I went back and forth with the dance studio about the song, and I was so happy that we could find something that made sense for both of us.
So how
And
has the whole experience been?
let me tell you, I have a brand new appreciation for entertainers and dancers. So I think I'm on my 8th or 9th class, and it has not been easy. My dance partner has kind of held my hand along the way. I'm dancing the waltz, which is a very formal dance. And I do love dancing, but never have ballroom dance to the waltz. So she's really teaching me. She jokes with me every class and says, Bernard, you must stop moving your hips, because I think I naturally move to the rhythm of music. And the waltz is not it's a very formal dance. So there's no hip movement in it. So I'm working on my technique and all the things that go along with it. But it's been very rewarding. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone. It's helped me see community in a different light, and helped me show up differently. And I'm really excited.
So what if you were talking to like 17-year-old Bernard and you
Mhm.
were saying, Bernard, you just so you know, in just a few years, because you're only a few years older than 17, you are going to be dancing in a ballroom in front of lots of people. What would you think of that? What would your teenage self think of that?
Um, I would say, really? I would say maybe you should work on your rhythm right now. But no, in all seriousness, I think I would be somewhat surprised, because growing up, I was a bit of an introvert. It wasn't until my college, early adulthood, that I became more extroverted because of my career and aspirations. So I would be a little bit surprised. But certainly, I would be proud, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And you talked about looking at the community almost in like a fresh way. Can you just share a little bit about the free clinic and its work and how that might resonate with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I am very passionate about, and a lot of my work corporately has revolved around meeting the banking needs of the underserved population, from financial education to innovative products that can help people of all socioeconomic groups achieve financial wellness. And so when I look at the clinic, I kind of parallel those two things, right? The clinic is not providing financial wellness, but true total wellness, and reaching people that might not have the opportunity if the clinic did not exist. And to me, that is a powerful parallelism between the work that I do every day and the work that is so necessary in the community. Really great organization, and just so proud to support them, stand shoulder to shoulder and help raise money.
Yeah, that's really profound. And then just finally, Bernard, if somebody is listening out there and thinking about moving beyond their comfort zone in some way, because I imagine this is not just the most comfortable thing that
No, not at all.
you've done. What would you say to them? Would you give them any advice, and would you encourage them to move beyond their zone?
I would absolutely encourage them. So this year, in October, is a milestone birthday for me. And I have committed to 2026 that I'm going to do everything and anything outside of my comfort zone. And so this was like one of the first things that were presented to me last year, actually, in preparation for 2026. And I hesitated, and then I said, I'm going to do it, right? And I'm so glad I'm doing it, because it's stretching me, it's pushing me, it's really building new realms of character within me. And I'm really excited to do it. And it's all for a good cause. And I get to dress up, which is exciting.
All the things.
All the things.
So I'm here with Dr. David Galliani of Galliani Ophthalmology Associates. By the way, David, I literally had to look down when I say that because I have a whole problem with the word ophthalmology. I don't know why.
You're not alone. Now I want you to spell it.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be the next podcast.
Okay.
I like to say eye doctor.
That
That
works.
I can say and spell. But you are not only an ophthalmologist, you are a dancer. And you are dancing for bucks. Congratulations and thank you for doing that.
Use that word dancer pretty lightly, I noticed.
Well, you are a dancer. So first of all, can I ask you which one did you get? Like what style of dance?
So I got the tango.
Oh, okay.
Fun, but it's like I tend to smile a lot, and my partner Anastasia keeps telling me, this is a serious dance. You can't be smiling, So I'm trying to be more serious.
You know what? That's really funny because my dancing partner, Ilya, kept telling me to smile more when I was doing the waltz. And I was like, well, I can either memorize these steps or smile. Like apparently I have problem doing both. So if you had told yourself, say when you were 17, if you said, David, just so you know, in 2026, you are going to be ballroom dancing in front of hundreds of people, what would you have thought?
Well, now you're getting me nervous, hundreds of people. Yeah, I would have been pretty surprised. I was, my parents made me do the ballroom, classes when I was like in 8th grade. And, we were like mortified as me and my brothers to do it. We were like, more into sports and those kind of things and not as much into the arts. But, again, it taught me things that I've taken with me. So it was in retrospect, it was a great thing to do. And my wife and I do a little bit of dancing here and there, but not like ballroom style dancing things. So,
You know what? I kind of love that your parents, by the way, had you do that. I think that's actually very impressive. Good parents.
better than me. Yeah.
So why did you say yes? Like what made you say yes when somebody said, "Hey, would you be one of our 6, community leaders who are dancing?"
So last year they'd asked me, I had some things going on and couldn't do it last year. We were going to be gone for part of the time. When it came up for this year, my wife was talking to me and she says, my Bruce White is her boss at the CEO at JKJ. And she said, if he's doing it, you have to do it. So I said, okay, we'll do it this year. We'll see, it'll be fun. So, and it's a great cause.
So how has it been? Like what has been your experience? Has anything surprised you about the process?
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty quick, and we just do like 1 to 2 lessons a week. And, I think it's been pretty smooth, but I'm not like, I look at myself in the mirror and it's okay. It's not great, but it's they make it pretty easy over there. I'm sure the professional is going to help me look better than I am. Just like the real Dancing with the Stars. So it's just, I'm looking forward to having fun. And again, it's a great cause. So, just to have a good time, but they've made it very easy and a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of the cause, because this is all about access to healthcare in our community, and you are a doctor in our community. How does this feel connected to you? How do you connect with the mission of the Ann Silverman Clinic?
So Dan Nessie and Rich Reif, I've been close with them. Dan was at Rich's pushing kind of, I think he helped get the clinic started. And I always respected him and Rich, and they asked if I'd help contribute by providing eye care to the Silverman patients. And I said, I'd love to. It's my grandfather was an internist, and back in the old days, it was just, some, kind of lots of before insurance, but some people paid, some people couldn't pay. And you just, you took care of everybody the same. And it's kind of like my way to kind of give back and help out for, seeing, a few patients a week that can't pay, and it's, or doing their surgery or whatever it might be. And, if we all just help out a little bit, it just helps everybody in the society as a whole lot, and just gets rid of all the red tape, all the government, everything. And it's just, we just give them the care and make it easy, like how they're making my dancing easy. It's just kind of, if we all just help a little bit, it all helps, it helps take care of these people that are kind of falling through the cracks in our system.
That's really beautiful. Finally, what has this experience, has it taught you?
I mean, I guess as my wife was saying, there's a lot of different ways to give back, where in the past it's been more, giving medical care. This way, we're just kind of raising money to help support all the costs that the clinic has. And there's so many great volunteers that contribute their time and their efforts, but there's still expenses on there. There's medications, there's the salaries and the other things they got to pay for. And it's just nice to just take that to another level. And it's been easier than I thought to raise this money. We just kind of reached out and, sent out some emails. We put something on Facebook and just trying to get people to contribute, and people have been, more generous than I could have imagined. So it's been really very rewarding to do this as well. And I look forward to hopefully not tripping on my feet.
So I am here with Kelly Ann Schaefer, who is a business and life coach, a speaker, an author, an entrepreneur, a community leader, and a dancer. So welcome, Kelly, to the podcast. And I'm so excited. You are one of the dancers for Dancing for Bucks. First of all, Kelly, can you tell me why say yes to this idea?
Okay, so my answer is probably going to be different than a lot of other people's. My first yes, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit self-serving, because I have always had a dream of being a dancer. And I was always thinking, Dancing with the Stars. I'm like, why don't they do that for real people? Yes. And so a little bit self-serving. But aside from that, the mission behind the free clinic and giving awareness to what is available to us in our own backyard for those who need it. And I believe that people who have the ability and the platform, so to speak, to have a voice, whatever that looks like for you, and be able to use that for your own personal community in things that feel personal to you, really.
Mm-hmm. I was a dancer last year, and there were a few things that surprised me as I began my ballroom dancing lessons. So what do you love about it? What do you hate about it? Has anything surprised you? What are your feelings about this whole ballroom dancing process?
I've always been the type of person that, back in my day, and I would go to the club and so forth, and I'd be the girl on the dance floor, breaking it down, getting low. It's like music just kind of moves through me, and I just allow music to move me versus me trying to like dance into any specific rhythm. And that has been one of the things I've been most surprised about, I guess, because when you're going into a room like this where, the steps are steps and you are being led, and especially so I'm the woman in this couple, and so I have to be led, and that requires women, especially when you are dancing in this capacity, for you to release and let go of control of where you're moving on the floor, allowing your partner to be the person that leads you, which is very difficult if you are a strong, independent woman, let me tell you. And then on the other side of that, that this is a routine that I need to practice versus me just, shaking my little tail feathers on the dance floor. So it's very different when you're dancing for fun and you're dancing for like a specific outcome.
Does it relate in any way to what you do, like for a living? Is there any kind of connection, or is it completely, separate?
What I would probably say, so in coaching, right? The first thing is a great client for a coach is someone who is coachable, right? Like you're not a good client for a coach unless you're willing to be coached.
Yeah.
So in that perspective, like this learning how to dance, I have to show up without any of my, 40 plus years of shaking my tail feathers and, keeping all my friends out till 5 a.m. at the late night dance clubs. And, like I had to put all of my previous knowledge aside to be with the expert, right? Who's going to show me his expertise. So in one perspective, that's how it is, like with coaching, like with the people who coach with me and they get the best results from working with me are ones who are willing to be coachable versus coming into a situation, you already have your guard up. You're kind of like, I already know what I'm doing kind of thing. So that's one way that it translates. And then I think the other thing too that, I believe in business is you have to go with the flow, right? In business, just like in the studio, you have to go with the flow. There may be changes that come up. There are going to be hard things that you're going to have to practice. There may even be things that you don't like, because my partner has put a couple things into our dance routine and I'm like, I don't like this part. And he keeps telling me, you're going to do great. And so sometimes, we have to learn to trust the process. And at the end, we will have this beautiful outcome.
I forgot to ask you, can you share what style you're doing at ballroom?
I am doing the rumba.
You're doing the rumba. So was there a specific style that you wanted? How did you feel when you pulled the rumba?
First of all, I don't think I actually realized what type of styles were specific to ballroom.
Yeah.
I just knew that I didn't want something slow because I'm not a slow paced person. So I was just hoping that I had something a little bit faster. And for me, my brain always goes to like salsa, right? Like salsa. And but that's not what ballroom is, right? It's very different. So so I had no idea. And then when he told me, I was like, okay, cool. I'm here. I'm along for the ride. I am here as a volunteer as well to bring awareness to the Ann Silverman Clinic and what it is that, they offer and what they do. And so, I had to put aside any of my preconceived notions about what I wanted or didn't want.
Yeah.
And just step into the experience that was part of what I decided I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of this, the organization and the fundraising event. So I said yes to it. So I was like, okay. Sometimes we have to learn new things, right?
100%. 100%. I found myself as I was getting closer, I thought, who cares? I mean, when I started doing it, I was like, I don't care how I do. It doesn't matter. And then as it got closer, I was like, oh my gosh, I began stressing out. And I thought, why am I stressed? But I was.
Yeah, I am totally stressed right now because we're only like 2 weeks out as of the recording of this. We're like 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in a day. And in the beginning, I think for me, I was like, oh, I can do this, right? Like, I like to dance. I like to move. Again, my version of dance is like whatever my body wants to do based on the beat of the music, not to an actual routine. And then, it comes up on you so fast. So those first couple lessons, you're kind of like, okay, when am I going to get to it? And then you have these lessons. And then next thing you know, it's going to be showtime. And I'm super stressed right now because I do not want to, like anybody, right? I don't want to make a fool of myself.
Right. The Ann Silverman Clinic provides free healthcare for our community. And what What feels personal to you about that mission, or what does that mission mean to you?
Okay, so so twofold, really. Number one, so before I became a business coach or a life coach, and before I had my first business, I was a registered nurse by trade. So, and I worked in healthcare for 21 years. So that tie-in was very just deeply personal right away. Because I had that background. And then the other part was, a lot of people don't know this about me unless you're, a little more familiar with me or my story. I was a very young mom. I was a mom. My daughter, I turned 16 when she was about 6 weeks old, my oldest daughter. And so I went through a period of time where having access to health care was very important. And I had to go to places that offered like free vaccinations and free clinics and so forth, because I worked and I went to school and I had some public help, but I didn't get much public assistance.
Sure.
So I fell in this weird little category of, yeah, you don't qualify. It's like you're not quote unquote poor enough to qualify over here. You have a job, you are doing this, and even though again I was only 16, but I needed help. And so I'm so grateful for organizations out there that offer this to their community, because I think we get in our minds sometimes that, so I've been on both sides of the coin, right? And so I've been very low class and I'm, upper middle class. So I always have this beautiful awareness of both sides.
Yeah.
And some people I think that every quote unquote everybody who needs free, it's because they don't have a job or they're not working, or they don't want to work, or they've got too many kids, or whatever the excuses are that a lot of people have opinions about it. And in reality, a lot of people who do need these additional resources are people that would otherwise fall through the cracks.
100%. What would you say is one thing that the experience is teaching you?
You know what I think? So we talked about releasing control and stepping into new things, and I think what it's teaching me is I've had a dream to be quote unquote a dancer since I was a small child. I wanted to be an MC Hammer backup dancer. I wanted to be one of the Fly Girls, right? What was the other? What were the Solid Gold Dancers? I'm really giving away my age now, but the Solid Gold Dancers, like I used to watch these people and be like, that's what I want to do, right? And I had a child very young, and so it took me off a different path. And so being a backup dancer and dancing for a living just didn't seem to fit right within the life that I had at that time. And what's really interesting is that all these years now, I think about, people talk about their biggest regrets in life. And a lot of people have a lot of regrets about a lot of things. And I really have lived my life really intentionally, that even quote unquote bad things that I've navigated through, I wouldn't say that I regretted those things, except for never picking it up or finding a way to dance. And I have made excuse after excuse after excuse. So my big takeaway is like when I'm in the studio and I love it and the time flies by so fast, and I've seen other people there that are there in the studio who are regulars taking lessons on a regular basis. And I've had some conversations about, why do you do this? And they're like, it's something I love. And I put myself on the back burner for so long that now I am prioritizing like my own, it's a little bit different than prioritizing your own needs. It's literally about prioritizing your own desires.
Yes.
And so it's fun. Like right now I am in a volunteer capacity, but I'm already thinking like, okay, this was an opportunity to push me into something that I've been so passionate about, that it was always like, if I ever, had one regret in life, it would be that I never pursued it. And now that I'm in it, and I wasn't doing it, I mean, I did selfishly say I was doing it for me, but I was doing it for me because I thought it would be a really cool experience. And I love giving back to the community and being part of community events and missions and nonprofits and so forth. And so being there and seeing the joy that I have and watching the joy of the other people, and just really remembering that we get to prioritize our own pleasure and joy.
Yeah. That is really a powerful reminder.
And just want to give a shout out to all my fellow dancers in competition. I'm coming for you.
There you go. You heard it here. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Thank you for being a valued part of the SolFul community. Thank you to William Aronson for writing, recording, and producing the SolFul Connections theme song. And finally, always know you're not alone. We are connected. We're all in this thing together. And you and your story are important. Let's just keep on connecting.